What's going on, guys? FadeitLuie here, bringing you guys a brand new video. We're gonna be doing a mid-fade on my boy, so stay tuned. We're starting off with our gold FX, making sure we create our first guideline, contouring to his head shape. Make sure to stretch the skin with your opposite hand and don't be afraid to move the ear out of your way. Now that we're done balding him out, we can move on to our no guard all the way open and create our second guideline. You always want to make sure you make this guideline around 1 inch thick so you can spread the blend. Now that we already created our guideline, we can slightly close the lever midway and all the way closed and attack that initial guideline. Now that we're done erasing our initial guideline, we can move on to our 1 guard all the way open and create our third guideline. We're then going to use this same guard and the lever to soften up the line and get ready for the half guard. Now that we're done softening up the line with the 1 guard, we can move on to our half guard and erase the line completely. Make sure to stretch the skin with your opposite hand and use your corners. Now that we're done with the lower guards, we can move on to our 2 guard all the way open and create our 4th guideline. We're then going to use this same guard and the lever to soften up the line and get ready for the 1.5 guard. I hope you guys are enjoying the video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It's greatly appreciated, man. Thank you. Now we're moving on to our 1.5 guard and we're going to erase the line completely. Make sure to use your corners and the lever. Sometimes there's still a faint line after using your 1.5 guard, so switching over to your 1 guard all the way open would definitely help. Here I'm detailing as much as possible and I'm switching back and forth between my 1.5 guard and my 1 guard all the way open. Now I'm using my half guard and I'm flicking out the line between the no guard all the way open and the one guard all the way open. Now we can use our clipper over a comb to create our silhouette and make sure our canvas is nice and clean. Now that we're done shaping up the hair, we can move on to our 3 guard all the way open and create our 5th guideline. This is going to help us blend into the bulk on top and also the lower guards on the sides. Again, we're going to make sure we use our clipper over comb to make sure the fade is as smooth as possible. When using clipper over comb, you want to make sure you use your vertical cuts to blend and your horizontal cuts to debulk. Moving on to this hairline, we're going to debulk the front because it's very dense there compared to the sides. The amount of hair we're taking off here is very small, so make sure you don't take off too much hair because your client will be very mad. Moving on to our NST outliners, we're going to start off at the middle and work our way to the sides. You always want to make sure you don't push the corners in too far deep and keep your vertical bars as natural as possible. Remember, this is not the finished product, the fade is not the finished product, and also the lineup is not the finished product. This is just what I'm able to catch on camera. Now we're connecting it to the other side, and you also want to make sure you keep your vertical bars as natural as possible. Always remember that. As you can see, the lineup is starting to come together. We're adding our finishing touches, especially on the side right here. When you're fading your sideburns, I always start off with my no guard all the way open, or I'll start off with my one guard all the way open and debulk a little bit before I start fading. Now I'm switching over to my one guard all the way open and then my half guard. Then the 1.5 guard and the 1 guard all the way open are the largest guards I'm gonna use on the beard. Moving on to the bottom of the beard, we're going to follow his natural jawline and line it up and make it as crispy as possible. Before we even started lining it up though, we combed the hair down and made sure everything was nice and laid down. Now that we're done with the beard, we can move on to our Turkish razor and Derby Premium blades and make them as crispy as possible. But before we do that, we're going to apply some shave gel so our razor could glide better. When using the razor, you want to make sure you stretch the skin as much as possible with your opposite hand and keep the blade at a 45-degree angle. This lowers the likelihood of you cutting someone. If there's skin gonna take against the grain, make sure you go against the grain near the cheek area. It makes the beard pop out a little bit more. Again, I hope you guys are enjoying the video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. Also, if you made it this far into the video, leave a comment down below of my subscriber count. I want to see if you guys are really paying attention. So, hold on. I'm gonna get that on camera. I'm gonna leave that in.
Bro, definitely not want to have you fuck up my shit.
No, you're good. What's going on, guys? FadeitLuie here, bringing guys a brand new video. We're gonna be doing a mid-taper on my boy, so stay tuned. We're gonna be starting off by separating the top from the sides and making sure our canvas is nice and neat. We're also doing this so we don't cut any hairs that we don't want to cut. Now that we're done cleaning up our canvas, we can move on to our foreguard all the way closed and create our first guideline. We're also going to use our comb to feed the hair into the clipper while flicking out with our guard. Now that we're done creating our first guideline with our foreguard all the way closed, we can move on to our clipper oval comb method and start to debulk the sides. Make sure to use your vertical cuts to blend and your horizontal cuts to debulk. Make sure to keep a consistent shape, especially when you're using your clipper oval comb method. I hope you guys are enjoying the video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you. Now we're using our foreguard all the way open just to make sure everything's nice and blended, and we're going right above our foreguard all the way open. Moving on to our gold effects, we're going to create our first guideline in the side taper and then move on to the back. Now that we're done shaving off the sideburns and creating our first guideline on the side taper, we can move on to the back and create our first guideline in the back taper. You always want to make sure you contour these guidelines to the shape of their head or neck. Now that we're done balding them out, we can move on to our no guard all the way open and create our second guideline. You always want to make sure you make this guideline around 1 inch thick so you can spread the blend. We're then going to slightly close the lever midway and all the way close and attack that initial guideline. Now that we're done erasing our initial guideline, we can move on to our one guard all the way open and create our third guideline. We're then going to use this same guard and the lever to soften up this line and get it ready for the half guard. That's going to help you connect to that no guard all the way open. Now that we're done softening up the line with the one guard and our lever, we can move on to our half guard and use our corners to erase the line completely. Now that we're done with the lower guards, we can move on to our two guard all the way open and create our fourth guideline. This guard is going to help us bridge from our large guards and our smaller guards, because then we're going to soften up this line and get ready for our 1.5 guard that's going to connect to our one guard all the way open. Now that we're done softening up the line, we can move on to our 1.5 guard and erase the line completely. Sometimes there's still a faint line after using your 1.5 guard, so switching over to your one guard all the way open and using as corners will definitely help. Now I'm going back to my previous guards, which is the 2 guard all the way open, and I'm making sure it connects smoothly to the 3 guard all the way open. Now that we're done with our guard work, we can move on to our gold effects and start off at the bottom and work our way to the top arch. Remember to go slow enough that the hair feeds into the trimmer, because if not, then you won't line them up properly. Be very careful near the ear area because the skin is very soft there, so you could nick them with the teeth of the trimmer. Since we already made our first guideline, we can move straight to our no guard all the way open and create our second guideline. We're then going to close the lever midway and all the way close and attack that initial guideline. Now we're moving on to our one guard all the way open and we're creating our third guideline. Make sure to use your corners, especially when you're on the side tapers. Now we're getting ready for our 1.5 guard and our 2 guard all the way open. Once you're done softening up the line with the 2 guard and its lever, you can move on to your 1.5 guard and erase the line completely. Again, sometimes there's still a faint line after using 1.5 guard, so switching over to your 1 guard all the way open would definitely help. Now we're moving on to our 3 guard all the way open, and this is going to help us connect to the 4 guard that we used on the sides. Now we're using our previous guards to detail as much as possible because there is a few guidelines that I see. Here we're going back to our 2 guard all the way open, and we're making sure we remove this guideline in the middle. Now we're moving on to our clipper oval comb, and we're going to debulk the top right hand corner and making sure it connects to the top. Now this is the most critical part. We're going to use our 1.5 guard and our 1 guard all the way open to detail between the 2. Again, I hope you guys are enjoying the video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. Also, if you made it this far into the video, leave a comment down below on my subscriber count. I want to see if you guys are paying attention. Now we're going to move on to our thinning shears, and we're going to thin out the parietal ridge. Now we're using our 3 guard all the way open to attack that dark spot on the top right hand corner. Now that we're done with our side taper, we can move on to his hairline and comb down his baby hairs and then line them up with our Gold FX. You want to make sure you go slow enough that the hair feeds into the teeth of the trimmer, because if not, then you won't line them up properly. Now we're moving on to our Turkish razor and Derby premium blades, and we're going to make them as crispy as possible. When you're using your razor, you always want to make sure you stretch the skin as much as possible with your opposite hand, and also keep it at a 45-degree angle. This lowers the likelihood of you cutting someone.